What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Couple days off to make sure we get a little training camp news piling up, and Cowboy news, of course, because there's some signings for the Cowboys. I wouldn't get too excited though, and some battle, position battles going on in training camp. So that's of course something coming up with the depth chart as well.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of things, some people to hear from, and you guys, the family here. We're gonna hear from you guys. Again, we're gonna be doing these live streams like maybe twice a week or so like that, in that range. Plus, of course, the first game coming up this weekend, Cowboys are gonna be taking on the Rams. Scrimmages coming up on Thursday, so a lot to talk about here as we're barreling towards the beginning of the season. But now here on MCF, let's make sure we shout out those that rep the boards here with us on the nightly. And right now, it is none other than the man Lincoln Kane, whose takeover over, from basically a week ago, was a takeover. 3 weeks in a row, a three-peat from Lincoln Kane, not just as a sponsor of the week, but you can see the Cash App King, much love to him, only from Australia.
NLC.
Yeah, Australia, star level member here, repping that star over everything. Marco Seppian, right there around, halfway from Australia to America. We got Marco Seppian repping that star over everything in Hawaii. Go Cowboys. He rolls 94 points on the Stream Boss, and right above that, right there, Skeptical Fan with 3. All he needed was 3 gifted memberships in last week, and he became the champion. So appreciate him. He's always staying skeptical. This week so far, though, over the past 8 days, no gifted memberships yet. So that's wide open. And when it comes to, of course, Marco Seppian still repping that Stream Boss. When it comes to the Cash App King, the leader right now, it is Chill Pill. And yes, everyone better chill out when she's around. She's repping that star over everything, and she is in the After Dark sessions in first place, not just in the Cash App, but also the sponsor of the week board, trying to get that top spot. It's going to be tough to catch her, but she is in first place currently on both those boards. So big congrats and thanks to you, Chill Pill, as you're on your way to maybe getting your first victory here on My Cowboys Family as we're entering the 2024 season. So there's a bunch of ways to drop the love, of course. You can do the super chats in here. There's also the thanks button. You do it any video. You can also jump in the membership or gift memberships. There's multiple ways of doing that. And I do want to shout out Skeptical Fan, staying skeptical. He is, of course, re-upped in the star level membership. So appreciate you. That's an example of somebody, joining the membership. There's also gifting memberships. So once you're in the membership, you can gift memberships to anybody who doesn't have one in the chat. And it's randomly done. That's fantastic. One of the best ways of helping the channel. But then there's 4 other ways at the After Dark sessions. People there drop the love, and these are the 4 ways. No super chat over there, so this is the 4 other ways. That's why you see Chill Pill and LC, because they're doing it on the After Dark side. Why don't you let them know, baby, how are the other 4 ways, non-YouTube related, you can drop the love here, support the channel?
You have, of course, the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link that lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat would.
Yep. And I do want to make sure I also shout out some people that have dropped the love here on our nights off that we had here, a couple nights off in a row. After our Fan Friday, we had, of course, like I said, Skeptical Fan dropped into the membership, of course. We also had Primo, Sco971, Ready Red, PJ, Marissa Sparkle, Lydia, Beast Mode, McLovin, who's, by the way, I think in second place right now, third place on the overall board. Chill Pill, of course, dropping the love there. It's Dave B, Pat Pfeiffer, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Multi Super Kalo, and Roger Dat in the house, Cowboy Fan. Arkansas, appreciate you as well. Everybody here who's helped support the channel, either side of the After Dark or the main channel. Thank you guys on that side. Now, as you know, we have a star level membership coming up around the corner here. Star level, over everything level membership for our monthly jersey raffle for the month of July. And that will be done probably in the next couple of days. Yeah. Right? So we'll be...
very likely next time we go live, you'll be seeing that live and in action.
Yeah, so again, sewn and stitched jerseys, a lot to choose from. You know, we MCF style, so to speak. So we'll be doing that again. The weekly winners, like LC, he just got himself 3 bonus raffle entries into this one here. So yeah, I think he's got 4 total entries this month for LC, Lincoln Kane. An example of how weekly winners are now getting involved in this, not just the star and over everything level members. And speaking over everything, you know, and the star level, baby, why don't we do the quick shout outs here for our nightly shout outs? That's one of the things, one of the perks on the membership side of things when you're in the star level is the nightly shout outs for our, you know, top shelf membership. Now,
That's
you know,
right.
Navy Blue crew and that silver level too. Appreciate you guys, but on every night we shout out those that rep the star and over everything levels.
Yeah, so very big thank you to Skeptical Fan, Mr. LC Lincoln Kane, Marissa Sparkle, and of course, the man himself, the Lunatic.
Yeah. And Mr. A. Lavelle, you know, he's in that star, in that silver level. Throw him in there too, just because, why not? But hey, the list is getting smaller here. Better chances to win one of these jerseys for anybody who wants to join in there. So anyways, that's that. We'll be doing that July raffle here probably next time we go live, like you said. Now, who's in the house here, baby? Ready to discuss some Cowboy news, info, and updates. Hopefully everyone skipped the intro if you're watching us on the replay, if you don't care. And we'll get right into the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys.
We have the man Scorpio, what's up?
Yeah.
Much love to Stephen White. Shout out to you, Ramesh. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Yeah, Ram.
Raul, hello and hi, what's up? LaFrance Taylor, howdy to you and yours as well. Bobby Bottles, much love, what's up? Doing good. Hopefully you are doing well as well. We have MCF After Dark. Ooh, who's that? Let me see. Godless Man and Tobin, hello and hi.
I think he was first today, right?
Yes, yeah. He was. So, all right. And no, as more people trickle in here, of course, I will make sure to give them their hello and hi. But, baby, let's not keep the people waiting any longer. What's been going on with our Cowboys? And again, if you were with us during the live premiere of our training camp video earlier today, you'll at least have a better idea of what happened during today's training camp.
And honestly, not just today's premiere, but also the last every day. You know, we always have a premiere sometime in the evening of the whole day of practice. That kind of is our live streams for now. So when you see those out there, but today, you know, we have to give you a little catch up on some other stuff you can't put into video necessarily. So yeah, we'll be, again, keep a lookout for those. Tomorrow the Cowboys do not practice, so maybe we sign CeeDee Lamb. As everyone knows, we have not done that yet. We'll discuss that and Dak's contract here shortly. But let me start with old school player here. Very famous running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Dwayne Thomas. He passed away at 77 years old, unfortunately. Now, just a little, you know, kind of a couple things that stick out about Dwayne Thomas. He was the first player to score a touchdown in Texas Stadium when it was built in 1971. And again, you know, he died 77 years old. He went to Lincoln High School and West Texas State. So he's, you know, local there. First round pick of the Cowboys in 1970. Played only 2 seasons with the Cowboys. But again, you know, he rushed for what? Almost 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns in 2 seasons. After his rookie year, where he led the Cowboys, again, helped lead the Cowboys to a rush well, he definitely led the team in rushing, but we won a Super Bowl that year. That was our first Super Bowl. He asked for a restructured contract. This is interesting now because he actually, this is where like the free agent, the players' rights things came up. And Dwayne Thomas, he asked for a restructured contract, and it was rejected by the ownership, by the Cowboys. And then he was traded to New England. But he refused to report to the Patriots. And then at the time, Pete Rozelle, he was kind of new at the time, he voided the trade, and he sent Thomas back to the Cowboys. Yeah. So during the contract dispute, Thomas criticized Tom Landry, calling him a, quote, plastic man, no man at all, end quote. And he spent the 1971 season, the second year, without speaking. It was famous. He you know, it's kind of like the Marshawn Lynch of that time, you know, except he just didn't say anything. He literally didn't speak at all to the media, with reporters, and apparently also his teammates. So, yeah, he was very distant from the Cowboys after his rookie year. And his second year, you know, he was a good running back. He just was you know, outspoken, so to speak, I guess you could say.
It's gotta be tough to be on a team that you know doesn't want you.
Yeah, so he definitely showed, you know, the beginning cracks of player rights almost in some ways, like with the way, you know, you want to restructure based on your performance, maybe your position, running back, right? I'm not saying it was different back then, but I'm just saying that there's different things. He was getting paid a rookie contract, but probably was very underpaid for what he did for the team in that year. So, kind of you see, it's kind of like a pre-holdout. It's like the first holdouts in a way. So, anyways, going into this now current time frame here again, rest in peace to Dwayne Thomas, but TMZ reported on the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Isaiah Rodgers. He bought some custom cleats that feature a Dallas Cowboys diss on the cleats.
Of course they do.
It says Dallas sucks at the back of them, like at the heel, I guess you can say. Or I'm sorry, at the bottom of the cleats, underneath, it says Dallas sucks. So basically, throwing shade at the Cowboys, trying to pump up the volume on this heated rivalry, which of course we all hate the Eagles, they hate us. Fuck Philly. And I also wanted to go into a couple quick things, NFL news. Brandon Ayuk from the Niners having issues there with them signing him. They're going to sign him long term, not sign him and keep on his 1 year deal or finishing his contract out, and then let him go. Try to trade him. The Patriots, who were inquiring about his availability, they decided not to explore any kind of trade possibilities with the Niners regarding their standout receiver Brandon Ayuk. So the Patriots are excited about their own receivers right now and want to focus on them. That's what they're saying. I just think the price is too high. What the Niners are probably asking for to get Ayuk over there. Or maybe even Ayuk's price is too high for them. I don't know, because we know he wants to get paid a bigger contract. So that's something kind of watching in the background. Maybe that's going to derail the Niners somewhere down the line. We'll see. Now, I do want to bring up a free agent. We'll talk about free agent for a second. Former Dolphin center, former Cowboy guard, Connor Williams. Remember him? Actually, a top center with the Dolphins, actually. Somehow we couldn't make it happen here. He reached an agreement. He signed a 1 year deal worth up to $6 million. It's pretty good at this point of the free agency market. And it includes $3 million of that guaranteed. He's getting this with the Seattle Seahawks. So the Seahawks are getting Connor Williams, guaranteed $3 million, up to $6 million he can get in this 1 year deal. So just throwing that out there. I think we do play the Seahawks this year. So we may see him, if not in the regular season, definitely may see him in the playoffs if we get in there, right? Yeah. If they get in there. Anyways, free agency, guys. Just so you know, we did sign a couple players. I'll talk about them in a minute. But I did want to say something. The Cowboys, when it comes to cash spending, the Cowboys are ranked 25th from 2013 through 2016. All right, so go back a decade or so. For those 4 years, 2013, 14, 15, and 2016, Cowboys were 25th in spending cash. In 2016, 2017, 18, and 19, those 4 years, I guess I'll say 3 years, Cowboys are 32nd. The worst. They went from 25th in spending cash to even less at 32nd. And then in the last 3 years, 21, 22, 23, Cowboys are 30th in spending cash. So the point is this: no contending team that's out there builds their roster in this fashion by not spending the cash up front on players. And that means using it not just for contracts and pushing it down the line, using the money now on 1 year players, on players that have veteran backgrounds, that have superstar, kind of want to bounce it off another year. That's kind of what the Cowboys missed this year, and a lot of years, as I'm kind of showing you here. Cowboys do not spend that cash. That's about the cap. It's about the cash you're spending this season on new contracts, on new players, on extensions and that kind of stuff you're paying this season. So the lack of free agent moves by the Cowboys have kept the Cowboys competitive because of Will McClay's drafting ability, but not championship style. You know what I mean? That to me is the very depressing part about the fall of the star under Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and that's where it comes from. It's not the other. It's not the coach. It's not Will McClay. It is the front office saying we're not doing the free agent thing pretty much at all. So just wanted to throw that out there. That's that new money we're not spending. We're spending on our own guys, or we're spending it, rolling it down for the future. Like the contracts to hit us later on. Anyway, Skeptical Fan opening up the drops for tonight, and he dropped that 445 on us. What did he have to say, Mr. Skeptical Fan? Always staying skeptical.
He said, "CD, come home."
Oh, you got perfect timing, Skeptical. I'm about to speak on that right now. So, big shout out to Skeptical Fan on that. And I do think when I get a chance, I'll update that. But I do think he went up the board a little bit.
Oh, there you
The
go.
drops of love from above. 445 in the house. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Always staying skeptical. He's in that star level membership level right now. So, anyways, I'm frustrated about it, right? Skeptical. The fact that we are not even spending really any new money on players. Very little on inside the organization. Hardly anything outside.
Yeah,
the
and any
organization.
moves that we've made since training camp has started, they're all for camp bodies, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's been the bottom of the depth chart. It's been like, practice squad or cut guys. That's what it's been. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, baby. And it's, they haven't been spectacular. We made some more moves. Again, don't hold your... A little better, maybe, but really, is it going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe these are Zimmer guys. But I'll get to that in a minute. First, let me get the Skeptical fans' comment about CD come home, because we must talk about CD Lamb. Where is he at? He ain't in Dallas, right? He is not in Dallas. He's not in Frisk. He's not in Oxnard.
Yeah, the last update from the last time we were live, I think he was in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what I remember.
The word is now he's in Cabo, where Zeke used to be.
Boy.
Yeah. So again, CeeDee Lamb continues to work out right now with the Fonte Diamond. There's a video I just posted of him basically practicing. It looks like he's in a Gulf hurricane storm going on around him, but he's in the sand pits. He's in the sand running. I just hate seeing that with the sand, because that's we've seen a player in the Pro Bowl 20 years ago playing a flag football game in the sand tear his freaking knee, and his career was done. I'm just saying, CeeDee Lamb, I see Micah doing it earlier. I know they were doing some stuff with Tom Brady and stuff for fun. That's different. It was another thing kind of when they were like training hard in the sand and Micah doing it. Now we're seeing CeeDee Lamb just running out there crazy in the rainy kind of sand area. So again, it just elements are not slowing him down. The storm, hopefully it's not just on the in the video, but also he's bringing the storm. I hope CeeDee Lamb's bringing it. But I know some people spoke about CeeDee Lamb. Recently, so we're gonna touch on that as well and talk about the front office, but not much. It's kind of all quiet on the Western Front over here when it comes to CeeDee Lamb. But to me, if you look at the way he was training in this kind of sloppy weather, in the sand, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and just kind of it's windy, it's fun, whatever. But it might be easier to train, in Oxnard with the Cowboy team than it is right now in Cabo, wherever he's at. So, either way, it seems like, CeeDee Lamb is on the he's definitely keeping himself healthy and good. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing. But I just hope that he's not going to become Zeke when he comes back. Get that Zeke mindset in the sense of whether it's the mindset or the, maybe a little chunkier. I don't know. In a not unhealthy way. I don't know if that's the case for CeeDee Lamb. Zach Martin didn't seem to go through that last year, so hopefully the same thing will be for CD in this holdout. But where's the front office? Where are they going to be coming through with anything? Where are they under? If they offer him 31, 32 million, I just can't say CD. Yeah, take it. You getting paid less than than the Eagle guy. What's his name? AJ Brown. Yeah. You getting paid less than him. Yeah, take that. No, you shouldn't. You should get right behind Jefferson. So some people spoke about this on our side of things. When it comes to CeeDee Lamb, pretty sure. No?
No.
Oh, I thought there was a couple comments about it.
I told you no.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, then nobody spoke about this. It's just the last thing we know is that the Cowboys had sent out the deals.
There's
right?
no new CeeDee Lamb updates of any kind in any way.
Well, except that he's in Cabo, right? Doing his thing.
I mean, what I mean? Like, from our no players spoke about him, no coaches brought him up, front office didn't speak about him.
Yeah. So all quiet there. Like I kind of mentioned before that, but all quiet, nothing really there, other than the fact when it comes to the contract situation, we know that Jerry and Steven both kind of made comments, and before, we talked about this last time we went live. Basically, we already offered something to Dak, and the ball's in his court. We offered something to CD. He knows what we're working with. So
I'm skeptical though. This feels like the Cabo curse.
So what is that? What do you
No, just that Cabo seems like bad luck. For some reason, for our Cowboys. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We'd prefer to have them all together in Oxnard.
Yeah, obviously. So, it is what it is right now for CeeDee Lamb. But, that also means that we actually made some moves here. Now, is it at receiver? No, it's all on defense. So when it comes to CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, their contracts are sitting. They're still in negotiations. They're still talking. The Joneses are still talking with the agents of CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And honestly, it's gonna. I believe maybe in another week they'll miss a preseason game. In another week, you might get these guys back. You might get CeeDee Lamb back. That's the way it seems like the Joneses did it with Zeke. It seems like that's the way they did it with Zach Martin. They're gonna wait. The only thing that when they say deals make deadlines, the Joneses, when they say this, and I say the clown show because that's what they are. When they say deadlines make deals, they're talking about themselves. I don't think they're talking about the players. I think they're talking about themselves. That when they believe that,
they're telling.
Yeah, they're saying, listen, we're telling you the deadline is when we make deals, and the players are like, okay, we just got to wait you out. Cool, all right, we'll do that. Now, with this CeeDee Lamb situation, and when it comes to CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys now he's missed enough practices now that he's now eligible to be put on the reserve, the not report list. What that means is that he's off the 90-man roster, so we open up a space with that on the roster by moving him to this kind of not a basically holdout spot. We of course also, if you guys know, of course remember unfortunately we lost Sam Williams for the year with a torn ACL and MCL. Today he was officially put on the reserve injured list. That's another spot open on the roster, right? We're down to 88 players, plus one in the international, but we have 2 open spots at this point. And then we waived linebacker Brian Vaughns, undrafted Brian Vaughn. So Brian Vaughns is out of there, unfortunately. And the worst part for poor Brian Vaughn, which is not having a great camp, but his family came up from Fort Worth today to watch him practice. Awesome. And then he was released today. So, that hurts. It's a cruel game, the NFL, but that's business. You got to remember, it goes both. Sometimes players use it in their advantage to get more money, whether it's Zeke, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, or sometimes it goes the other way where the player gets nothing, and they get just kind of
that
released.
Does seem to especially suck in that scenario, though.
Yeah. So. That's the 3 moves of our lineup today when it comes to making space. So we had 91 players, but remember 90 it caps at 90. We have the international player that's 91, so we lost 3, right? So then we have 3 open spots, and they were filled today with 3 new transactions the Cowboys made, and they're all on defense. Like I said, we released linebacker Brian Vaughns, but we signed 2 new guys: Darius Harris, linebacker, and linebacker Nick Vigil. We also signed a defensive tackle, Albert Huggins, and I'll probably discuss these guys more if they become really an important piece of discussion for the Cowboys. But I will give you this little kind of behind the scenes here. Vigil, all right, Nick Vigil, linebacker. He played for Mike Zimmer when he was coaching in Minnesota, so he's familiar with him. He also played for Paul Gunther in Cincinnati. So, when it comes to Zimmer in Minnesota and Gunther in Cincinnati on the defensive side of the ball, both these guys know Vigil. They know how to use him. He could be a guy the Cowboys may try to, give it a good kind of a veteran kind of, end of your depth, chart kind of push with these guys. Kind of like in my mind, I think of a Jason Peters, but maybe even a little better than him in the sense of ability right now. So Vigil. Stay vigil on him. Nick Vigil. He will be a guy that the Cowboys seem to already have some previous knowledge with on defense. I also want to say that when it comes to linebacker Darius Harris, all right, 2 linebackers replacing the 1 linebacker. Harris spent the last 4 seasons winning Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. So linebacker Darius Harris. He also overlaps with Damian Wilson, who's on our team. They know each other from the Kansas City days, both of the Cowboys now. So, again, Harris spent the last 4 years with Kansas City. And let me just say about defensive tackle, Albert Huggins. He's played for 4 teams in the last 4 years. So he's been passed around. But very good job, though, in 2023 on his last team, and he played with Atlanta, with the Falcons. Him and Calais Campbell helped make them a damn good run-stop defense, the Falcons. So, listen, we'll see what happens. Harris, like I said, Kansas City has some championship DNA, leadership there. You got Nick Vigil, who the coaches on the defensive side, the new coaches, Zimmer and Gunther, they both know him well. So that's a good sign. That's a run stop. That's the run stop coordinator for the Cowboys, Gunther. Maybe Vigil is a good run stopping linebacker. That's what we're hopefully looking at there with him. And like I said, nose tackle, a guy who's helped guys like teams like the Falcons with Calais Campbell be a good run stopping team. So it seems to be run stopping, kind of addressing players here. Made room for three guys, had to cut one guy on IR, and of course CeeDee Lamb the other guy, and we brought in defensive run stoppers, defensive run difference makers. Maybe at the depth of the depth chart, maybe at the bottom of the depth chart, maybe also just some kind of more veterans on this roster. Maybe that's something that Zimmer and Gunther wanted.
Yeah,
so,
and you'll hear from a few of our players, but one of the things that Zimmer seems to be doing very effectively is disguising our coverage. So again, we'll get to that in a little bit, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, the Zimmer stuff is really interesting to me. The Cowboy defense is picking up Zimmer's defense very well, and when you see some of the videos we'll play tonight here, and we'll be talking about it, you will see the way the Cowboys are playing defense and kind of having Micah blitzing from the inside, from the middle, which is something I've been waiting to see in that A gap. So and he's been doing damn good in that too. So again, he took a little time to get into it, but I think the Cowboy defense is starting to really get it and disguising their defense the Zimmer way. So I'm looking forward to hear more about that. But anyways.
Yeah, I think the day before last, McCarthy mentioned, he's like, yeah, this was actually a really shitty practice. So keep that in mind. Like, he even straight up said it. Like, yeah, this was not our best practice. I hope we do better. And I do believe that we did end up looking better today's practice.
So
it worked out.
We'll get to the practices in a minute, but I do want to kind of reiterate one last thing. With CeeDee Lamb, he was again. I want to make sure everyone understands. CeeDee Lamb was placed on this did not report list, and it's a procedural move, which opens up a roster spot, like I've discussed already, and it does not impact negotiations. There's no like fines here, nothing like that. I want to clear that up just in case people are thinking of that. So just wanted to kind of finish with that. Now, we also worked out another defensive tackle. His name was Kevin Strong. He didn't make the cut. All right, so we worked out 4 guys. We signed these 3. All right, and just so you guys know again, linebacker Darius Harris, linebacker Nick Vigil, and defensive tackle Albert Huggins. All right, these are 3 new players on the Cowboy roster. Now, there was no move, of course, to get CeeDee Lamb back on the roster. We discussed that. But what about injury situations? Injury updates. You look at some of the guys that got banged up. We discussed this on Friday, and you have, let me see here. Yeah, this guy right here, Luke Schoonmaker. All right, I think he's having an issue with his groin right now. He has a groin injury, and he was basically not practicing for a couple days, but you might see him a couple times in today's practice. They're trying to work him back in, but I think the Cowboys are going to end up waiting they waited until the Thursday scrimmage, maybe to get him in there and get some reps. Keep an eye on him, but basically the Cowboys are just being cautious with him. He's basically day to day. So just so you guys know, it's a minor issue. Mike McCarthy said that, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the Cowboys, dealing with that groin injury day to day, he should be back sooner than later. Okay, when it comes to him, not going to really lose any time there. What about Israel Mukuamu? Which, of course, I think he's also with, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a groin too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he has a lot of groins issues here. But the unfortunate part about this, and I don't know if you have any information on this, but McCarthy kind of said he's going to miss some time. That's a quote from McCarthy when it comes to Mukuamu. So his issue, whatever injury it is, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but his injury is a lot worse, let's just say, than the Schoonmaker injury. Now, as far as the practices earlier in the week, we had Tyler Guyton, who was ill. He had an illness. He was sick. He ended up missing practice. But they just were letting him hydrate. I think he did miss a couple of this week's practices so far. We'll see. You see him on the sideline. But they're basically having him hydrate and heal, and that's it. He's good to go. He'll be back I think he was back in today's practice. I'm not 100% sure, but the Cowboys, he's fine. They just give him a couple days to kind of recoup himself there. I think a lot of these guys are getting this extra kind of day off today, and let other guys kind of take their snaps because they're gonna play more. They had today off. Now they're gonna have Wednesday off, and then Thursday is the scrimmage against the Rams. Before, of course, we play them on the week over the weekend. So, rookie Ryan Flournoy, receiver, 6th rounder, continues to rehab from the ankle injury that happened, early in camp, and he's rehabbing right now with Deuce Vaughn, who also has an issue as well. I don't know if you have any quotes on those situations.
Yes, I do actually, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. So again, those issues and those injuries, they're on the side. These guys are on the sidelines with Britt Brown, tending to the hamstring injury. It sounds like a hamstring injury for Deuce Vaughn, and the ankle injury for Ryan Flournoy. So that's the update on all the injured guys for our Cowboys. I do think there's one other guy that got injured in the practice, Royce Freeman, and he definitely has a groin injury. I'm not sure. I know you have probably more on that when it comes to the severity of that injury. But, after the 3 days of practice, of these last 3 days, we're going to kind of go and recap for you here of practice. There is a new depth chart out. The first depth chart of the season. Check it out.
Dun, dun,
You don't want to big screen this, guys, but the point is here. You look at this. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty much what we expected. CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks. That's we know those guys. It's more. You can look at some of the backups. We know Chuma Adogo is going to start over Tyler Guyton right now. We knew that. That's not a surprise. Brock Hoffman, starting center for the Cowboys. Now Cooper Beebe was a third center. Now he's showing as second string. So that's interesting to keep an eye on there. Luke Schoonmaker's just number 2 tight end.
Yeah. What about Kendricks? Where is he on the list?
Kendricks. We're talking about defense. No, I'm talking offense right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, no, I'm just saying, like, when you look at the running backs, who's the quote-unquote starting running back? Ezekiel Elliott, which kind of made that mention there with Rico behind him. Cooper Rush still the backup. Trey Lance the third stringer. Just some names on offense. Now, on defense now, our defensive front we knew what it's going to be like. And no Sam Williams, him being gone now, Marshawn Nealon is basically taking the snaps on that second string spot there behind him. So, let me see here. We also have who do we have in here? Oh yeah, this is the one that to me is the biggest surprise. Is the rookie number 35, Maris Leofau. So he's in this list here next to Eric Kendricks. I know you asked about Kendricks. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know he's going to start, but Eric Kendricks is now, as our middle linebacker there, number 18, Damone Clark, is an expected starter. He's actually having a good camp. And then the rookie, number 35, Maris Leofau, he ended up being somehow, I guess you could say, overshown, right? So, and I think that has more to do, I'm guessing here, that has probably more to do with Overshown's injury than it does have to do with the fact that he's not able to win that spot from Leofau, a rookie, the 3rd round. So that's a bit surprising. That's the biggest one that stands out for me. I'm surprised no one's really talking about it, but again, this is really the unofficial first depth chart. It's going to move around a lot more than this, right? So to me, I think that Leofau is a surprise on this list. We know about the cornerback situation. We know about the safeties. We're deep at safety there. Kalen Carson is kind of our backup there, the rookie, and you're seeing Nashawn Wright, the other backup. That's one of my issues with the cornerback depth there. I will say nickel cornerback. Right now the backup is Kemon Hall. He had, I think, an interception today. He's been all over 2 interceptions today. Actually, he had one I think on Dak, one on Trey Lance. So, he's a guy that's kind of up on that chart for a reason at nickel cornerback. He's a guy we picked up last week, one of the camp bodies. So we'll see how this thing turns out. And when it comes to returns, you have Turpin with the returns, with Rico and Deuce Vaughn, David Durden on the kickoffs, and then Jalen Cropper, interesting there, on the punt returns. He's second right now behind Kamate Turpin, with Deuce Vaughn and David Durden behind him. So that's the complete roster, a depth chart. I don't know if you have any thoughts on these, or anybody in the chat has a quick thought about it before we move on.
I mean, honestly, the Kendricks one was more of the... Kendricks was the only question about the depth chart from the chat. want an update on Kendricks. So Stephen White's also
Oh,
saying
injuries, you mean? Okay, that's the injury. Okay, I thought you meant like the depth chart spot. We know he's a starter, and he's back on the field, and I'll be showing you some video on the Kendricks actually returning to the field. He's back to practice. And, of course, I didn't even mention Trayvon Diggs, but he's back out there. He's just not doing the team drills yet, but he did get out there. I'm going to go through that when they talk about the actual practices.
Yeah.
We'll show you that, what he did out there in coverage for the 7-on-7s, basically.
Yeah.
Not
Now,
team
Stephen White
drills.
did say this is Hunter Lipke's season.
A lot of people saying that he's going to be utilized a lot more. We heard about that last week. And you'll see some clips of Hunter Lipke catching the ball out the backfield and trying to run on goal line, but he got stopped on the goal line. So, still not there when it comes to that. But, yeah, Lipke, I believe the Cowboys are going to try to – McCarthy's going to try to use Lipke like a use check style.
Yeah.
A versatile back that can catch, block, and run for some needed yards. I just don't think I think he's still far away from Juszczyk, but he's going to use him like Juszczyk is I think what McCarthy's planning on doing.
And Cam from AZ saying, is Deuce is still around?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Unfortunately, though, his
He's
current
hurt.
hamstring injury
Yep.
does set him back because he's one of those people that can't really afford to miss any time during camp.
He's going to hang on by a thread there. So, yeah, that's the Cowboys lineup. And I guess I'll start putting up the videos. I don't know if we're gonna. I guess the discussion, the quotes and stuff, are gonna come at the end, right? So, let's just start up here with. I would say this is practice number 8, 9, and 10. This is the 8th practice here, and you'll see the players running out there. But this was at that point the most intense practice. So you realize that we left you at the most intense practice, and the next time we had a practice, it was the most intense practice. So it's ramping up. You can feel it ramping up in camp. Most intense practice, lots of physicality. You'll see a lot of snaps. You see Zeke getting ready pre-game, I think, they're stretching. He's doing a lot of stretching before the game on the cords. And in this, you'll see some clips here. And I want to touch on this. Maybe you want to touch on this too. But Zimmer was dialing up pressure from the linebackers today. And you'll see some videos of this as you've seen Trey Lance throw to Dak Prescott for a touchdown. So Zimmer really using a lot of the linebackers in interesting ways in practice. And you saw our cornerbacks, Carson, the rookie. You got Bland and Lewis playing very well in this 8th practice of training camp. Dak, also, you'll see him make some good throws. But the receivers didn't really create a lot of separation for him to throw windows and stuff like throwing windows for the quarterback to throw to. There's Bonzie Smith, by the way, and this coach. You guys gotta listen to the actual shorts or the actual video. This guy's like, you want to go to Disneyland? It's an hour and a half through the easy pay. Go ahead and play around over there. We're not playing around here. He's an asshole, and I like it, and he's telling Mozzie, you got to get better. Speaking of our linebackers, is this
For a second, I thought you meant it in a serious way. Like they're saying, hey, let's go to Disneyland.
No.
Like, oh.
He's like, you want to go to Disneyland if you play like that. Here's the returns, by the way. New return. Another little view of that. As I think Dowdle takes that up the field. Just an example of how it's going to go. Like now, here's some blocking. And you're seeing it from some work here from BB, from the inside there, Tyler Smith. So you're gonna see some mixing and matching there from the linemen. But here you got Terrence Steele. You got some guys running into each other, and then you got some one-on-ones starting up the practice here. Brandon Cooks. Ooh, that's a nice pass from Dak Prescott to Brandon Cooks. Another angle of that. Great job by Brandon Cooks. Great job by Dak Prescott placing it there. The stands look empty still, unfortunately for Jerry Jones. And you're seeing that's Brandon Cooks. Here's Tolbert. Take a look at Tolbert. Great job by him. Body control, high pointing the ball. I think Tolbert's going to have a great season. Here's Turpin trying to find space. Boom. Jordan Lewis, great coverage. He knocks the ball out there. Does not let him catch it. Good battle by both those guys. Now we're going to more like a team drill here on a goal line situation. And Jordan Lewis, I'm going to tell you this right now so you guys know. He's having a fantastic week of camp. There's Bland. He's having a fantastic camp. Bland is. So.
I thought you said Lewis.
No, Bland is here. I'm just saying. But
okay.
Lewis had a great day.
Okay, got
and he's had a great week, is what I said. But Bland has had a great camp. And there was Overshown in coverage with was that Turpin? Another good pass there by Dak Prescott. No, there's Rico Dowdle one-handing the touchdown. That's Overshown covering him out of the backfield there. So. Some great, again, I think Rico has really solidified himself as a number 2, but I think he is, he should be used more like a 1B or 1A, 1B kind of deal. There's some great coverage by Damone Clark, knocking the ball away from the tight end, Ferguson. And, Cowboys defense, the linebackers, they were, really moved around. You see Zimmer right here at the back of the end zone. He is aggressively trying to work this linebacking core, the coverage, goal line situation, boom, knocking this stuff away. There's Trey Lance trying to look for something. Scrambling out, drops it in there, bang, what a catch. There's that John Stevens. Then Durden with the nice catch there. So, by the way, blocking-wise, and you're seeing here some of the team drills, you're going to see, Dak making some nice throws, no separation from the receivers, but the edge was set very well when it came to like trying to run and block to the outside for the offensive side. But it was really great job by the defense and setting the edge on running plays. So that's one of the keys. It looks like Zimmer's trying to push. This is from the 8th practice, overall practice. But one of the keys it seems like he's trying to push is setting the edge properly and effectively, consistently. Something that we have not seen, obviously, in forever from the Cowboys outside of DeMarcus Lawrence. So that's a good sign there. Now,
yeah, look, Zimmer's discipline, I think, was sorely lacking here. Or, sorely needed, I should say.
Yeah, I was saying Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I meant it the wrong way around. But it was sorely needed, not to knock Dan Quinn, just saying that clearly this helps.
Yeah, for sure. And, some goal line work here. Great catch by Hendershot, but he was out of bounds, unfortunately for him. I want to say, you saw little Damone Clark, number 18 there in coverage. Really good day for him in these highlights here. Oh, nice pass from Dak to Brandon Cooks, I think it is, right? So I think you may see another angle of that. But Damone Clark, number 18, great job for him for the most part in this practice. Linebackers, as a general situation, were doing great in this practice. But Clark was the quickest. He was great in coverage. Damone Clark, he was great at reacting to the run. So a very good day for Damone Clark here. And a really good day for overall the defense, even though they score here. So switch the field here, and the Cowboys going across the field. But the confidence from Damone Clark, number 18, has been, here he's involved. You'll see him tip the ball up a couple of times, different places. Here's involved in the blitzing, involved in the run stopping. He still has, he's able to kind of help Overshown, maybe take that next step from the injury. So, I really love the way that the linebackers have been playing for the Cowboys. And it's been we've been kind of saying this kind of all camp long. The linebackers have been a solid piece of this defense. Here's Dak running around, trying to find somebody, and just can't. Deron Bland, is that Bland? It is Bland, knocking the ball out. So, great stuff by this defense as a whole as we get into the end of this practice. Dak here looking to the end zone in the corner. And we got Ray Logical with a touchdown right there. 56.
Thank you for summing it up. Appreciate you.
Welcome to the family here. We keep growing this thing. So, again, you might have missed a couple highlights. You guys got to check the whole video out on our, it's a standalone video. There's Micah getting a lot of pressure. This is what I like about the defense here. Watch this here. Micah coming in on blitzes. Micah coming in there, setting the edge. Look at Luafau. Get the sack right there. That's one of the reasons maybe he's listed as a starter right now. Yeah. Look at Micah moving in Zimmer's defense. Untouched, bam. And cracks into Dak Prescott there. As you can see, a better angle of him actually stop the pass. It just kind of Dak hits him with the motion of the throw. Now, again, Micah with the pressure, but you got Luafau involved inside, pushing the pocket sometimes. Here, Dak is stretching it, and then nowhere to go. Just got to throw the ball. Oh. Yeah. So, anyways, Micah and Trayvon Diggs were messing around a little bit afterwards, a little wrestling there. He was pinning them. The crowd was singing to them, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, whatever. And Micah celebrating. I just hope he don't hurt him. Just don't hurt Trayvon Diggs, please. So that was day 8. Day 9. Definitely, it was a lot in this situation here. This was the big comeback day for Trayvon Diggs, and you can see him first hitting the field. He's got the first day he's ever done. He's really put on the pads since his injury, actual pads on there. So he's trying to again. He was off the PUP list. Now he's trying to mess around with Deron Bland here to kind of make him quick reaction when that ball comes in front of him. Now here's his first movements. We've really seen him with pads on, running around in the jugs machine, and just kind of putting in the work. Now you guys also asked about number 50. Number 50 sitting right there on the sideline, to the left of your screen, and he's going to get some work in there as well in a minute. Just kind of going to do going to do the same kind of drill because he was also banged up, as you guys know. Kendricks, number 50, had not put the pads back on until this practice here. Yesterday, I guess. And he's working the same kind of drill that on the jugs machine that Trayvon Diggs was going off on there. So again, great to see all these guys kind of coming back. I also know we have a couple other players that we're going to see here in a minute, kind of appear back from injury. So and I think one of them is going to be Ryan Flournoy, who's number 14? I'm not sure, but he's out there and he is kind of working his way, getting back to got the pads back on, getting on the field, working out, which is a great sign for him, even if he's not maybe 100% yet. But Kendricks is good to go. Trust me, he was hitting today hard. This was yesterday, but he was hitting hard today. And Trayvon Diggs is pretty much doing everything but the team drills right now.
Honestly, great progress there.
Yeah, there's a linebacking core right there. Lua Fowl. There's Overshown, number 13. Lua Fowl, 35. Those are the guys that are going to be kind of making the biggest impact for this Cowboy team. Defense, the linebacking core, when we got to see, after the starters like Kendricks, after the Damone Clarks, that's when we're going to see these guys. There's Flournoy, number 18. There he is. He's a rookie wide receiver, 6-rounder. And there he is, running a little bit out there, making some cuts, got the pads on. Always a good sign. And again, he needs to get out there if he wants to kind of show something and what he's got, because there's a lot of receivers on this team and there's not many spots. Now, in this practice, as we're just getting kind of kicking it off, look what happened. Royce Freeman got injured there, number 27. He is now officially, I think he's got a groin issue. Not sure how serious it is, but he does have a groin issue. As Dak throws a touchdown to Trey Lance. They're reversing it today. And some receiver drills, as you're going to see here. Some toe drag swag with Brandon Cooks. Here's a little cutting with coming back to the quarterback when it comes to it looks like more like a screen play there to the receiver. And then you're seeing trying to make some sideline kind of getting the brain right, repetitiveness of getting these catches and toe tapping the sideline. And then special teams. Brandon Aubrey. Looking great, guys. I mean, I will say one thing about Aubrey. I think that he was like 7 of 8 of 8. I think he was 8 of 8. Multiple days in camp. I think he's only missed 2 kicks in all of camp. Brandon Aubrey. There's the rookie Marshawn Moreland and Marshawn Neeland, and he's out there trying to take over snaps from Sam Williams that we're going to be missing. Here's Zeke. We're getting a little goal line drills here. Here's Brandon Cooks, touchdown, great pass and great catch by Cooks. Another goal line play here for Dak Prescott, looking right and dumping it down, and there it is, right to the middle to Ferguson. A lot of Ferguson, by the way. Dak hitting the guys deep or short. Here's a perfect pass to Tolbert for a touchdown. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Now, here's something we want to see a lot of. Trayvon Diggs back on the field for the first time in pads since his tear of his ACL, on his left knee. So again, doesn't have even a brace or anything. He's out there running around, and he looks kind of like himself a little bit there.
I mean, I have to be honest. I was not. Most players coming back from an ACL don't tend to look this good so early
He's crisp.
on.
He
so
looks
I have
crisp.
He really does look locked in already.
Now watch this here with Trey Lance. Watch this makeup by him. Boom, almost a pick. Trey Lance don't know about Trayvon Diggs too much yet. So,
like I said, even
Diggs trash talking
like
is back.
85-90% back.
Yeah. Better than most.
Extremely, extremely formidable force.
A little trash talking there between Trayvon Diggs and Dak Prescott. Of course, we know we had that in training camp last year. And then, of course, Dak wins that battle, getting Brandon Cooks underneath in double coverage against Trayvon Diggs. And under help, I think, from Wilson. Here's a run by Zeke, but nowhere to go. This is what I mean by setting the edges in Zimmer's defense. Watch the way the Cowboys set the edges here. Really do a good job, at least in that play, to keep Zeke corralled. Now here you got the middle is where some of the stuff makes me a little worried. We got to have the linebackers fill in those run gaps. So here's Zeke, and he finds the hole, and he gets down there. Hey, look, one of the few explosive plays we've seen from Zeke in training camp. Another run here. Dowdle, it closes fast, that hole, even though he keeps running. The Cowboy run defense definitely looking like the Cowboys want to focus on that. Here's a little dump down to Ferguson. That's for like a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. You get the easy first down there. Here's Dak going across to Ferguson again. Could have broken that tackle. So I'm just saying, like, you see Ferguson being a major piece here for Dak on quick passes underneath routes and stuff like this. Here's Zeke coming back. Now watch the defense too. The defense is communicating. You see this on the main video. The defense is right now Zimmer communicating here, and they're moving players around. Everyone's kind of, and look how disguised it is, because now you see, are they blitzing? Are they not blitzing? They're blitzing from different areas. Dak saw that, dropped it down to Ferguson for the big gain. So you're gonna take some risks here. They go deep, and Hendershot drops it. Peyton Hendershot with he dropped it once before he got a pick to Dak's number there. So now Dak taking over here. And throwing to Brooks right here. What a great catch. I think that's Brooks. Oh, no, that's Cooks underneath there. And then as he expands a little more, dumps it down. This one to Jalen Brooks, 7th round pick last year, who's looking really good. And then here again, another one to Brooks. And he keeps going to Brooks. And goes. I mean, they're really establishing a connection. So Dak here dumping it down to Brooks. This time a little farther down. A little behind him there. Brooks makes the great catch and goes down the field. Looking good out there. Jalen Brooks, number 83. Here's Cooper Rush trying to do a little running play. Nowhere to go. And even with the backups or third stringers, you ain't going anywhere, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush here throwing down the field. And another catch there. I think it's that Flournoy. Yeah, it's good to see him back out there and healthy. That's a great sign to see the rookie from his injury back out there and trying to earn a spot. And here's Trey Lance. Throwing it there to, that's not Brevin Ford, that's Alex Holler from UCF. So, again, the Cowboys are kind of mixing it up here with the first string, second string. Here's Micah coming. Now, Micah really had a dominant day. I'm talking about sack-wise and pressure-wise.
Yeah.
Here, Micah ready to put. Look at Micah on the outside, gets in there, gets in the backfield. Would have been a sack. They let the play go. Still, nice pass by Dak, though, to Brandon Cooks. Here's some more stuff when you see the way the Cowboys using the Zimmer defense. I know we're going to talk more about that. Mm-hmm. But watch the way Micah lines up here and comes in there on a fantastic piece of that's a sack. The play would have been stopped there. I think he had to throw the ball away. So just Micah, the way the defense is kind of confusing, play calling, the offense, Dak Prescott. So I love it. Look at Micah lined up out wide, so out wide. Dak's changing the play. Micah rereads it. Now watch what he does here. Outside of Zeke, cuts back in and gets a sack. He had to lay off of him because that would have been a sack. And again, the play is incomplete, so it didn't matter. Watch Micah here again. I mean, the spin, the move in there on Chuma Edoga, easy sack, plays over. So that's the way this practice day looked. There's Tyler Guyton, by the way, not practicing. All right, 2 straight days, just resting up. And there's Omar Epps, actor, who meets with, there he is, Micah Parsons. He asked him, who you taking, Prince or Michael Jackson? I'll spoil it for you guys. Micah Parsons took Micah. Micah Parsons took Michael Jackson, as many expected. So anyway, Micah had a great practice. I want to reiterate that. And as I kind of, I'll start showing the new, today's footage here as I kind of recap. The one we just saw here. Offense, even though defense played very well, the offense had a better day. Here's that, Micah coming back from his, a couple days of being banged up. That was from today. But Micah, other than Micah, right? There was nobody else really having a lot of pressure on the quarterback in that last practice we just saw. Diggs was back in pads. He was working on combo drills. Dax had a really good day of passing. Good reps from Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas at safety. By the way, look at this, bam. Dak Prescott, nice pass. And I think Trey Lance does it too here in a minute. So, good to see there. This practice we just had seen, Tolbert is definitely ahead of the pack at wide receiver. And a lot of 7-on-7 work going on there on this past practice. This practice, they went right, after the warm-ups, they went right to mojo time. And it was just trying to score from fourth and 15. That was basically the deal here. And we're a couple touchdowns here, Dak. I mean, there's Cooper Rush, I think, hitting that one there. Jalen Brooks. Pretty damn good set of offensive outputs here on this mojo moment in today's practice. Now, I want to add one last thing. Tolbert was up there as could have been like he's definitely having he had a great practice we just saw. But Micah really, as you saw with those sacks, was dominant in this last practice. No one was really a menace like he was off the edge. Hard to ignore the constant pressure that Micah brings in these team practices. By the way, Jalen Brooks also looking great out there. After practice, Jalen Brooks admitted that Zimmer's defense has been a big adjustment for him, saying that he has a really interesting way of disguising what's coming next as far as defensively. So Jalen Brooks is getting confused out there. That's another. By the way, there's a little sack there from Micah Parsons. I want to I hope people took notice of that play you just saw, because Micah came jarring up the middle in the A gap over the center. You're going to see a lot of that from Zimmer. And here's a defense stopping the run by Lipke up the center there. So again, here you're getting some Brock Hoffman one-on-ones, and then you're going to get, I think, a Cooper Beebe here as well. You'll see Cooper Beebe's the snap. I think this next one is going to be him. Cooper Beebe with the snap. Boom. At least it was a decent snap this time. Look, he did a good job against the rookie Rodgers. So this particular practice, McCarthy ramped up the intensity. Like I said, they went right into mojo moments. Right away, before really any real, other than the basic warm-ups. They didn't go through their position drills like you're seeing now. They usually do this, and then they do the mojo moment. So, they had these guys, before they did, these are the one-on-ones. This is usually that's kind of warms you up. No, they went right into the high-intensity kind of portion of practice. They had the goal line. They have a lot of goal line stuff, red zone stuff, short yardage reps, pretty much all day in this practice. The defensive line, in this practice, you'll see in team, they showed a lot of improvement. Good day from Mozzie, Osa, and Golston. Brock Hoffman had a bad day, roughest day. But I'll give you some good news. Cooper Beebe had his best day today. So maybe that center situation is getting closer. Maybe. Also, receivers, you'll see Cropper and Davis doing impressive stuff today in these practices here. And come on, Keemon Clark, is it? I mean, he's just a great pick from him. Getting off the tip there. So, and there you're seeing some of the goal line stuff. Great pass, great catch by Turpin there, and Dak also trying to hit the corners here. Boom, Brooks, beautiful stuff here. Defense doing their best. The offense is definitely keeping them a little bit on their toes this time around. But I will say, the guy who had the player of this game, there's a couple people. I would say Jalen Cropper, which I think is right there. Oh, no, that's not him. Jalen Cropper had probably one of the more outstanding days from the receiving crew. And there was a lot of receiving guys that did good in this practice. There's Lipke again, by the way. But I got there's Trayvon Diggs in coverage. Love it. But I think that Bland, again, I mean, Deron Bland, look at this play by Bland. Bam, knocks the ball out. I'll give you a couple of other views of this. Knocks the ball out underneath on Jalen Brooks. He's a close-up of it. But I think the guy who we got to keep talking about him in this practice is Jordan Lewis, number 2, who had a fantastic day of practice. Here's a pick by Jordan Lewis on Dak Prescott. And he also gets another almost pick, which was amazing. Just great defensive play. Now, here's the team drills. And you see Zeke running here. You'll see, some more stuff here from the run game and some good stops by really, it's going to be mainly good stops on the defense. So defense is really getting better here. Tackle for loss from Micah. Defense is getting better and better, kind of with the Zimmer defense and learning it. I think that's one of the best things we're seeing from this practice. Lua Fowl there, starting number 35, but we're seeing the defense get better, even with the blocking they had. The defense still got to the ball player, the ball carrier. So this defense definitely playing great, although they got faked out. Just kind of a quick recap on these last 3 days. The first time in 125 passes during team and 7-on-7 drills, Dak was intercepted. All right, that was today. He had not been a pick basically the last couple of days of practice. Jordan Lewis made a diving pick. You just saw that on that scramble 7-on-7 work. Dak is 100 for 152 completions. 100 completions out of 152. But again, who cares? Like, we're not really measuring that, are we? 18 touchdowns unofficially. So Jordan Lewis, number 2, again, moving better than he has maybe in his entire career. He had that interception. He also had that pass breakup. You'll see it here shortly on a throw to Kevontae Turpin from Prescott. So, great stuff there from Jordan Lewis. Tyler Guyton returned to practice today after missing 3 days with an illness, and he was kept out of the team drills. That's why you're not seeing number 60 in here. Luke Schoonmaker also returned to practice, which is great news for Schoonmaker. Trey Lance got most of the backup reps. Sometimes you see a lot more Trey Lance than Cooper Rush. Oh, and there's Jordan Lewis, almost a pick. What a play by him. Give me another angle of this thing. So, again, Trey Lance got most of the backup action here, almost got picked there. Cooper Rush just took one turn in the 7-on-7s, and two times he took the snaps from team drills. Trey Lance got 6 reps, driving the team down the field, trying to. Here he is, Trey Lance, and they're going to Rico Dowdle. What a pass there by Trey Lance, and a great catch. Rico, is that Rico? Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, it's number 32. Oh, no, 23. It's 23. And there's Trey Lance here trying to get this ball over there, and bam, touchdown. Well, it would be a touchdown, obviously.
Touchdown. Woo.
So, and again, here's a pick. Bam. Keeman Hall takes it again. And great job there by this defense. Overall, I'm really impressed by the defense.
I know you've said it before that, defenses tend to look better during camp anyway and all these other things, but man, our defense is just looking real solid during this camp. Love the progress they've made.
Overall, they've been very surprising to me how fast they learned this supposedly difficult, disguising defense. So, Trey Lance in these you saw in some of these drills today, he threw 2 touchdown passes. Both of them were to Snoop Connor, running back. He had one play. I think he had one interception. You saw that one just happen, but it would have been blown dead because he said it was a sack. Still, it's good to see Keeman Hall just do his thing out there. His best throw was, you saw it earlier, the 20-yard pass to the tight end Princeton Fant. So again, you're seeing kind of some work there from Trey Lance, as Dak here showing off, and then Trey Lance shows off a little bit after this here. But I also want to keep an eye on Tyron Billy Johnson. All right, I said it last week. He was the one to watch last week. He's still looking good out there, number 13. But Jalen Cropper, number 16, was the guy today. He was the guy that was the kind of the player of the day of today. And going by the stats, if you're going to put stats up there, Jalen Cropper had 6 catches and 2 touchdowns, which is a big working day for him here. Again, I want to reiterate Brandon Aubrey in this practice went 8 for 8. So he was perfect today. He made them between 23 yards and 44 yards. He made them all, like you're supposed to. So far in the entire training camp, he has 26 of 28 field goals. Brandon Aubrey, most of them from under 45 yards or 50 yards. So, and I also want to say linebacker wise, Willie Harvey Jr., UFL guy, number 55, going up against Jake Ferguson, number 87, the starter. He did a good job in coverage down the field with Jake Ferguson. And he had a pass breakup in 7-on-7 drills. So he worked some first-team drills, replacing Lua Fowl. And when Kendricks was gone, they put in there? It was Lua Fowl, but you know what else they put in there? Willie Harvey Jr., the UFL guy that we picked up. And he's looking good. He got a pick on Trey Lance. He was looked pretty athletic in coverage. And he was hanging with, Jake Ferguson in coverage. So there may be a place for him in this Zimmer defense to have a role of some sort. Oh, by the way, one last thing I wanted to mention about this specific practice. NFL referees were at this practice today. The refs were there. And as sometimes you see some of these highlights, the practice flag, the penalty flags were being thrown out all over the field because these players are trying to get used to, with the penalties again, the grabbing and the pushing. We see some plays like the holding by the offensive line sometimes.
Yeah, one of the reasons that McCarthy said that practice the other day was so sloppy, apparently lots of penalties, pre-snap penalties specifically. So
unfortunately, still penalties being thrown. I think you see the referee on the sideline there, but you'll see some of these flags hitting the ground because we actually have referees doing this so the players get used to what you can and cannot do when it comes to live action. But at least 7 penalties were called. They were not all accepted, but basically it seemed to be the most that the referees did in this entire day of practice was pay close attention to grabbing from the defensive backs. It wasn't about holding. It wasn't about late hit or something like that. It was more about coverage by the defensive backs. They were throwing flags by the way that the defensive corners and safeties were covering, and they were too handsy. They get flags out there. So,
all right.
So hit me up with the comments from today, baby, from the last couple of days from the players.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant with the chat.
Oh, if there is, hit me with the chat first.
Well, Tyrone Church did say I like the pickups.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. There's just not going to be guys that going to be necessarily game changers.
Yeah, Bad Intentions said another UFL guy.
Well, I mean, yeah, we knew about him, number 55, Harvey. He looked all right. I'm just saying, I don't mind him, but we can't live and die on UFL guys, At least these two guys we signed today, a linebacker and a defensive tackle, who at least have NFL background and years of experience in the NFL, which is better than UFL.
Seems like we're going to try to find out.
Yeah, well, we got a FAFO is what we're going to do, unfortunately. So, but hey, it happens. So anyway, the refs are there. You'll see the flags hitting the ground. I know the players spoke over the last couple of days. I know the front office. I don't know if the front office spoke, but I know the coaches spoke.
They did not speak.
Some coach speak too.
We just really have comments from Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, let me go ahead and just get some other things out of the way, right? So he had some nice things to say about Mozzie Smith, saying that he's had some of his best practices recently. Quote, he had a long rookie year, but it's not uncommon, especially when guys get injured and you miss so much. He's a guy that had a setback, and he's done the work in the offseason. He's doing the work, and he's trending where he needs to go. He's getting better. I think he's done some good things, absolutely. He needs to own those A-gaps. Then he definitely has the ability to go out there and play some 3-tech, but that's what he was drafted for. This system obviously heightens that more than the last system. He has a new system that definitely suits him very well. So again, just nice to hear that straight from McCarthy in that way. So McCarthy also added in there that they're being very cautious with Trayvon Diggs and working him back in, saying, quote, I think Trayvon's clearly one of the most competitive players, practice players, game day players that I've been around. When he crosses the white lines and it's time to compete, he's all in, and that's when he's at his best. So, again, like we already kind of knew, the plan is to slowly work him in, right? So, by the way, he also answered, him as a McCarthy, a question about having coaches working on a 1-year contract. He said, quote, it's a privilege to play and coach in this league, and trust me, none of us ever lose sight of that. We really want to make the best of this great opportunity in front of us. So, no, I thought you were going to comment something on there for a second. McCarthy also said that the biggest surprise so far this training camp, he said the rookie class is clearly a cut above any I have ever seen in singing. I guess they have quite the pipes on them. Said that Tyler Guyton nailed some Rick James vocals. So, again, figured out to lighten things up a little bit there. And speaking of lightening things up, kind of funny, but Schottenheimer had mentioned a few days ago that, coaches go out for a staff dinner. Mike McCarthy picks up the bill. All right, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Adam Sandler decided to stop by and say hello.
I know he was a Cowboy fan.
It wasn't planned. It just, he happened to be there. I guess he saw them, chatting them up. I don't know. Just thought that was kind of funny because obviously they were there just, doing their football thing. And the next thing you know, there's Adam Sandler. So
surprise appearance. Cowboys have that star on their helmet. Star power.
And let's go ahead and touch on some of the things that the players said, right? So Zeke actually spoke quite a bit today. He was asked if this is the healthiest that he's been recently as he enters this camp. We've heard this before, but he said, quote, I feel like you guys ask me this every year. Is this the freshest you felt? I think this year is definitely taking a lot different approach where we're very much so watching my practice reps, trying to limit the hits that I'm taking, trying to keep my legs fresh. I feel really good in camp right now, but the goal is to feel really good in weeks 14 and week 17, week 1 of the playoffs. I think we're ahead right now, but that's not what's important. So,
yeah, well, there you go. He's had healthiest time of the season for these players. It's time to say that I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
So, but I like the fact that he kind of called it out, like, don't you guys ask me this every year?
Exactly.
By the way, Ezekiel Elliott is also a Theo now, right? Since Dak has his daughter MJ, Zeke said, she's so cute. I am the uncle. She's not talking yet, but it would be awesome if her first words were Zeke. Well, hey, you keep saying it and we'll keep trying. So Zeke was also asked about the difference between, playing for the Cowboys and then playing for the Patriots. Basically, the reporter mentioned specifically the fact that, fans probably aren't touring the team's facilities during the season while you're trying to work out or do your thing there. Zeke said, quote, "Honestly, who cares if there is a tour going on when there's meetings? When we're playing, there's 100,000 people in the stands. I think you got to learn to block out the noise." And Zeke also threw in there some of the stuff that he's learned about himself in the last 2 years, saying, "I've learned that I like to play in a dome stadium over playing outdoors." I think that's about it.
That's always learned. All right.
Well, I think that's his polite way of saying he prefers AT&T Stadium. Yeah. Can't blame him there. So, outside of that as well, throwing this out there, Brandon Cooks, he's gotten quite a bit of praise, right? But he said that, that just because the other guys are doing really well and he's kind of known as more of a mentor, right? Like a leader, a guider, like, hey, don't count me out. Don't think that I can't just do stuff, saying, quote, "Don't get it twisted. I'm not just teaching. I'm out here to make plays and help this team win too. But how I balance that is, what I tell these guys makes me check myself and come out and practice at a high level. Like, Dak, I'm still that guy. Don't forget that. No question." So.
Yeah, no, he's definitely more than a teacher out there. He's making a lot of big plays, Brandon Cooks.
Yes, he is. So, Jalen Brooks also spoke.
Receiver. Yeah.
He was asked, to give one major difference between going up against a Dan Quinn defense and a Mike Zimmer defense. Jalen Brooks said, quote, "Their disguise, man. Their disguises are insane. DQ had some disguises, but Zim's, it's pretty good. I gotta give him full credit.
It's probably another level. Number 8. Again, you're hearing, Brooks, number 83, saying these things. It's great to hear. That means his defense is picking it up, and they're being, it's obviously showing production on the field.
Yeah.
Not just we were just doing it and we're hitting each other, running each other over, bumping into each other, hitting the wrong gaps and assignments. No, they actually know what they're doing. When they're doing it, it's very hard to overcome our defense. That's what it seems like.
Exactly. So, and as far as,
there's 83.
Some of those changes, since we already, touched on the fact that he said, it's crazy. He specifically mentioned Micah Parsons moving around from defensive edge to linebacker, saying it's a lot of little things.
Exactly. We just saw some of that going to linebacker, but he's over there snaking out the screen. He's out there, blitzing from the middle over the center, which is what we've been loving saying to say, please do this. We're finally seeing this being utilized, I think, in a more versatile way and a more surprising way by Zimmer than Quinn, who's putting him in at 90% of the time at left rusher or right rusher, and then he would move around a little bit. You're seeing a lot more movement of Micah with Zimmer, and the offense is like, how do we do this? How do we correct this? And that's what I want to do to other offenses that we're doing to ours with Micah. And we're finally doing that with Zimmer running the defense.
So, last but certainly not least, we also heard from Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak spoke.
So, he was kind of asked, how he balances, keeping focused on the football things while also having the family life now. He said, "I look forward to it. Obviously, I talk about being present and how present I am in anything I do. When I'm on the field and I'm locked in, that's where all my focus and energy goes. But the moment that whistle blows, that horn goes off, and I get to see my family, MJ and SJ, it's not a moment that I take for granted. I'm super blessed. Going from being so locked in to forgetting about football so fast is something that I've never done. And this is the balance that I need. 9 years into this thing, getting to do what I love, but just being able to add that component to it made it all worth it. And I feel younger than I ever have, to be honest." So
it's the youngest now. First we're healthiest, now we're the youngest. Zeke was the healthiest, now it's actually. Look, it's all good. I'm glad that Dak is feeling good this year.
So and just making it clear, he also, clarified he's not dealing with trying to get over some kind of injury.
We had that boot. We saw him in the boot when he went to in his little trip there with the team, and we saw him. He had a boot. He's boot gate for Dak, right? So anyway.
Yeah, but Dak said, "That's who I am. It's a fine line that I'm always towing, but I've got to push it to feel like I'm getting better and making myself better. So that's just pushing that limit, and it's the risk versus reward. And obviously, I've got a great guy in Miller. And just being able to help me balance that understanding, where we are, what we're trying to do, what days we can push it, and then other days we can back off. It's something that I'm sure I will tow until I hang up these cleats. And that's because that's the only way that I know how to get better. So, he is not 100% wrong there with that comment. So, but like I said, that's actually it as far as our front office, our players, our coaches, all of that. And realistically speaking, no major surprises. To me, the thing that stuck out the most, I'm going to be honest, it was Jalen Tolbert's comment, where he said that the disguises that Mike Zimmer has
was it
already.
Him or Brooks? It was Brooks.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Brooks.
Was it Brooks? My bad.
Yeah, I don't think we had Tolbert speak today. But
Wrong Jalen. Yeah, sorry, wrong Jalen.
Yeah, our 7th round pick last year.
So, but yeah, so Jalen Brooks. Let me make that
Number
clear.
83, who, by the way, has been tearing it up in these videos.
But yeah, I just think it's fascinating to hear and see that, just because, again, if our team, who's actively practicing with us now, is saying, damn, you guys fooled me, you know, hopefully what do you think that means other teams are going to say when they're faced up against similar odds? So.
And seeing us for the first time, even if they have someone on film, it's still going to be tricky. It's not going to be easy, especially when Mike is moving around. Especially when the Cowboys are starting to, you know, bring in 2 linebackers and they're kind of scaring you where they're going to blitz from. A safety comes up. That's what the Cowboys, I've been saying that's what the Cowboys are going to be doing with Zimmer. And it's exactly what we're seeing from the defense. One of the few times I got to say that as far as the coverage is concerned, not really defensive tackle and the run stop, but I like that Zimmer is also keeping a good look for the run stopping side of things. I think it has a lot to do with Paul Gunther, kind of working on the run game stop. But Zimmer is a master of the defensive backs, corners, and safeties, you know, coverage and scheme. So he's probably putting his hands on there when it comes to the coverage side of things a lot more than, let's say, the pass rush. Hence why Paul Gunther is running the run stop side of things. But you've seen the run stop being addressed with somebody else specializing in that. And then you see Mike Zimmer making sure the entire defense, run and pass defense, is knows what everybody is supposed to. Everybody knows everybody else's jobs. And that's what you have to do in Zimmer's defense. And that's showing out. That's showing up by this team in the way they're playing. I love it. On defense, I love it. Offense, I know we're still missing a lot of key components here, specifically CeeDee Lamb. But I think that will be. I would like to stress the defense a little more with CeeDee Lamb in practice. But you know what? All that's great. Guess what? The next practice for the Cowboys, they're off Wednesday, but Thursday they'll be scrimmaging the Rams. And they're going to have their number 1 guys out there. So this will be the first true test for this defense and this offense and this team.
Yeah, fingers crossed no fights break out, but, I doubt.
There'll be fights. Fights. So, but the thing is that this is a good test because the Cowboys defense has been playing against, Cooks, who's a number 2, and the rest of the guys trying to establish themselves as a number 3, the Tolbert, Brooks, Copper, Billy Williams, Billy Johnson, I'm sorry. All these guys have to now play against the top corners and safeties now, not just against Trayvon Diggs is coming out because it's time for the team drills. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a good test for this defense, good test for this entire organization, for both sides of the ball to go up against a different team. And that's going to be the Rams on Thursday for the big scrimmage day. Keep your eyes peeled for the videos coming out on Thursday. It should be plentiful, and it should be pretty awesome. So keep an eye out for the scrimmage on Thursday. Fans are allowed in, by the way, to the practice. But we're going to be watching that here. I'll be posting the videos for that. And, we'll probably be live again. We're going to hit up a couple comments here as we're getting out of here. But, we'll probably have another live stream coming up. If not before the actual game, which I think is Sunday, it'll be for the game then. If for some reason there's just not enough news and not enough information outside of the training camp stuff, which we will be showing you every single day here on My Cowboys Family. We'll probably see you for our cameras on. 1st of 2024, live game day reaction right here on My Cowboys Family. It'll be a preseason game number 1 against the Rams, and it'll be in LA, in Los Angeles. So it's kicking off late. That's a late start. I'm pretty sure it's like a 10 o'clock Eastern time start. So we'll be live, though, for all 3 hours to discuss what's going on. Hopefully no injuries, but the good, bad, and ugly we'll be discussing there on probably our next live stream, live here for our first game of the season. So stay tuned for that. And of course, when we're here live again, it'll be the Star and Over Everything level raffle going down here
That's
on
right.
MCF. I got to give another shout out to Mr. Lincoln Kane for repping the sponsor of the week. Not one, not two, but 3 straight weeks here on My Cowboys Family. And also a big shout out to Lincoln Kane because he's our Cash App King for 3 straight weeks. It actually is 4. It's actually the whole month. So the man has dominated the entire month. That's 2 straight back-to-back weeks. Or I guess you could say almost 4 weeks, I guess you could say, for Lincoln Kane. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. In Australia, repping that Star for everything. And then you got Marco Seppian hanging on with 89 Hendershot points on the Stream Boss. And then Skeptical Fan holding it down as the membership champion. Thank you for that. The gifting membership champion. No gifted memberships this week. So this week the board is open. And when it comes to the Cash App side, well, we do have a leader. And it's the same leader as the sponsor of the week. It is Chill Pill. Right now, she's trying to get that top spot. I think she's going to get it. At the end of this week, we will mark her actually, at the end of the game, probably on Sunday, we will mark we'll celebrate the champion, whoever that would be, as a sponsor of the week, Cash App King, and of course the gifting crown. So on that note, baby, I want to hit up the comments before and the goodbyes. But I want to hit up a couple comments here before we get on out of here. And again, a quicker recap stream. So hit me up maybe with some comments and some shout outs. The combo.
So Bad Intentions said, when Jerry was trying to explain what he meant by all in, he sounded like Biden the night of the debate. You didn't understand a damn thing he was saying.
Yeah. He was bullshitting us, and he just didn't know how to push it across as viable. And you saw what happened. All in means really all out, I think.
Exactly. Now, Tyrone Church, by the way, said, we don't need a game changer. The defensive tackle is better than Carl Davis.
And I saw that comment by Tyrone
Church.
Tyrone Church. Sorry. But the thing is that it is I do agree again, we got a new defensive tackle better than Carl Davis. I 100% agree with that. The problem is how much better. We might have got a little better, but it's not really better in the way we're going to see it on a daily or weekly kind of effect. He might make 1 or 2 big plays, maybe in the whole season. Like that's not viable enough to what if Mozzie can't hang? What if something's going on? What if Rodgers can't hang the rookie? Then do we go to, I'd rather go to this guy than Carl Davis. I agree with you on that, but we're not in good shape if we're going that low. Is my point. At that point, I think we have to improve. Maybe the backup role, right? Not the third string role there, in my opinion. But, Cowboys are at least, I guess they're improving a little bit there. I agree with Tyrone Church on that side.
So, but yeah, other than that, the rest of the comments are not directly related to that. I mean, Bad Intentions saying, Dion said that there's only 4 teams his son wants to play for, and one of them is the Cowboys.
Yep. We know that Dion wants his sons to come to Dallas somehow, one way or another. But that's got to be worked out. It's got to kind of happen naturally. We'll see if it does happen. Deion Sanders can want what he wants. Sometimes you can't predict that, right? But somehow I think he has a voice that will be able to be heard by those certain NFL franchises. If Jerry Jones wants to go for one of the Sanders sons there, I would not be surprised if Jerry Jones went and got him.
So, no, neither would I. And with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and do the final shout-outs here in the chat and, of course, overall. So thank you so much for hanging with us. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell. Again, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop the Discord links down below in the description box.
And a huge shout-out to Skeptical Fan dropping a little bit of love here tonight on My Cowboys Family.
So, of course, let me go ahead do the shout-outs here in the chat. We have Bad Intentions, Meatball Ron. Let's see, Godless Manitobin, what's up?
Ron.
Tyrone Church, much love. Cam from AZ, take it easy. 12th man off grid, have a good night. Aztec Aguilar 04, have a good one. Apocalyptic Cowboy, hey, perfect timing to dive right back into everything Cowboys related. Nate Rosario, what's up? Have a good night. Scorpio representing. Raul, much love. We have, let's see, Juan Carlos, hello and hi. Is that as far back as I can go? It is, at least on my side. So, then we have, MCF. Who's that? MCF After Dark.
Oh,
2.
Yeah. Kick it off soon. So make sure you find us.
Yeah, Godless Manitoban, take it easy. Have a great night. But yes, to everybody here chilling, hanging with us, there is a very special reason why we do what we do here at MCF.
Let us know.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here at MCF, you can see it. We always rep that star over everything. And of course, here into our 8th year, 7 years under our belts on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond, baby. Let's get that. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. Again, appreciate Skeptical Fan and everybody in the After Dark sessions. Dropped the love there as well. But now it is time to clock out and drop out of here for the night and relock and reload for probably the big show, the big cameras on, lights, camera, action, game day reaction live stream here on Sunday for the game. That's probably our next stream, so stay tuned for that. I think the game's again, later in the evening, so it'll be earlier than our live streams. So make sure you catch us then and have your, subscribe, notification bell on, and the whole good stuff. On that note, baby, it is time to get out of here. But before we can drop out of here for the night officially, before we can drop out of here, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped. And it is a wrap here on MCF and MCW's channel, My Cowboys Family. Thank you for repping that star with us here all night long. You could have been anywhere. You're here, hanging, watching on replay, leaving the comments down below. Thank you all. And, of course, here on MCF for another Cowboys chat as we went over all the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys. Offense, defense, special teams. We talked about it all, as we always do here, where it's about that navy blue, silver, and star over everything here on MCF, My Cowboys Family. Of course, never forget the number one thing here on this channel, on this show. The number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. You guys in the house. Thank you all for keeping it going in the chat, the comments, the replays, hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell, following us on Twitter at My Cowboys Family, on Discord. We got one of those. Check it out. We post them there when we go live. And, of course, during the season, it's a lot more lively. On that note, though, it is time to go, guys. Everyone, stay safe. We'll see you here for game day. Preseason game number 1. Reaction live stream here at My Cowboys Family. See you then. Much love to all. Have a good one. Stay safe. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys! Woo!
Monk on the beat.